Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tanner's Favorite Things. I'm Tanner Knight, and today we've got a box to open before your very eyes. So you may be wondering what could be in this speaker-sized box. Okay, looks like we've got a second box. And in here we have the second EVM12L. This is an Electro Voice 12-inch speaker, Series 2, 8 ohms. Look at that. That's a beauty. So, the reason I purchased this speaker is because I have a very similar speaker in that PV amp right there. And I showcased this not long ago, and we'll go ahead and see what the two speakers sound like back to back using this one pretty awesome platform, the PV Encore 65. So let's go ahead and plug her in. All right, before we plug anything in, let's just get a closer look at this speaker here now that I have it out of the box. It is a massive magnet. It's huge. This is one of the heavier speakers that I've ever picked up. Nice cast, I don't know, aluminum or steel frame, not exactly sure what the material is, but it is cast rather than stamped. We have nice burly terminals. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. And let's take a look at the cone. Oh my God, it's so heavy. All right, so here is our cone. EV on the dust cap. I am inclined to believe that this is the original cone. It doesn't appear to be reconed at all. It is pretty original looking, but it's got a really hefty cone with dust cap, and that's to match the magnet on the back. So let's go ahead and talk about the amp. All right, here we are with our original EVM12S speaker. So this is an Electro Voice speaker as well. I do think this one has been reconed according to the original owner or seller, and I can't really account for that variable, but otherwise, this is just a different version of this EVM speaker, the EVM12S. So this is a really great sounding speaker. So far, it's actually been my favorite sounding speaker of all time in this amp. I haven't had a chance to try it in other cabinets, but now that I have semi-matching pair, I got some things up my sleeve. But first, let's go ahead and get a sound sample. I did a full-on exploration of this speaker in this amp in a video linked below. So if you didn't see that and you want to hear a more comprehensive tonal, I don't know, sampler of this amp, then you can click that link and check that out. But I just want to get a baseline sound of some cleans and some dirties, and then go ahead and swap these speakers and see if there's an appreciable difference. All right, here we go, clean sounds. The guitar that I'm playing today is a 2006 Fender Telecaster Deluxe. And what makes it a deluxe? Well, it's got the binding. It's got some abalone inlays on the fretboard. I mean, that's pretty much it. We got a sort of choice top. It's not the most electrifying maple top, but I do think it is a maple top. And no, actually, sorry, it's an ash. I think it's an ash body all through and through. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the guitar. This is a pretty standard guitar. The only thing different is that the deluxe version has this S1 switch in the electronics. It's just a little boost. I think it's 10 to 20 dB, somewhere in there, but I like to run with it. It sounds pretty good. So here's the cleans with the Telecaster. So really nice, recognizable, clean sounds, nothing too out of the ordinary, but very present and full and rich. A lot of overtones in there. It's not just straight treble or too bassy. It's a very nice, rounded, and some people call this the flattest speaker ever made, and by that they mean the sound is as true as it possibly can. It's not affected either sonically on the lower end or the higher end of the spectrum. So this is all very subjective and kind of hard to pin down, but hey, that's what we're going to do anyway. So there's your clean sound with this guitar, single coils for days. Let's go ahead and go into the dirty channel. So that's a really good speaker. That's a great speaker. That's a beautiful sounding speaker all the way through the range. There's no muddiness. There's no overwhelming ice picky top end. It's just pure, thick, beautiful sound. I love it. Let's go ahead and swap it for this speaker, the EVM12L variety, and see if we can discern anything different. All right, so here is this speaker one more time before it gets installed, right next to the EVM-12S. So you can see it looks pretty different. And I think the reason is because this speaker is not OEM. It's probably purchased off the shelf. And this one was spec'd OEM in either, I don't know, a Fender or Rivera cabinet, some high-end cabinet back in the 80s or 90s. And I do want to see if that's the case, so let's go ahead and take this cover off. Hopefully these big ass screws come out of here. Look like first one, no problem. Just shorties. Oh, that one was a little tighter, but she's moving. Third one's the charm, nice and loose. Okay, moment of truth. What is under this big ass cover? Virtually the same magnet as this one. So I don't know what secrets we can discern from here, other than it says 940 on the 12L and it says 425 on the 12S with a whole number sequence here, nothing else here. Otherwise, our magnet has a little screen much closer to the top than in the 12S. So subtle difference there. Can get my finger a lot further down there, but otherwise, the magnet appears to be the same. The casing appears to be the same. Very similar in construction, even if they are, I don't know, a few different years apart. I'm wondering if this means this is a 94 or an 89. I don't know. I'm sure someone can discern that. But let's go ahead and put this cover back on here and get her installed. All right, folks, sorry about the wardrobe change, but I just reviewed the footage and it turns out that the whole demo portion of this speaker didn't turn out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and redo that for you. So here we are, take two for me, but take one for you. So we have this Electro Voice EVM12L speaker installed, and just first blush, it sounds freaking awesome. Let's just jump right in and hear some tones. Really nice cleans, very, very similar. In fact, I can't tell a difference between the S and L variant of the speaker, so they're very, very similar. We'll have to do a little bit of research to see exactly what is different between these two, but from speaker to speaker, they sound about identical. So before we get into the sound, I have just one microphone. This is a very standard setup that I've been using lately on guitar cabinets, or just guitar speakers, I guess. We have one Sennheiser E906 dynamic microphone that is fed directly into my Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 interface, and that's capturing the sound at the DAW. So just very simple. Hopefully this is as transparent as it could possibly be, and that's really what I'm trying to capture here, is just the pure sound of the speaker in both clean and dirty. So there's clean. Let's hear some dirty. That hits hard. That's just so chunky, so full, so badass and ballsy sounding. There's nothing lacking in that sound for me. So now I guess you can see why a lot of people consider this the absolute best guitar speaker that there is. And I know there's a lot of stiff competition by Celestion, by Eminence, by a lot of other companies out there, old and new, but man, this EVM12L and the EVM12S are the best sounding speakers I've ever heard in any guitar context, period. Let's just hear the Metal Zone just for funsies. Here we go. Forgot I was in the Metal Zone, not that pedal, but there you go. Metal Zone just makes you want to chug for days. This is a friggin' Telecaster that I'm playing. It's not a dual rail style humbucker. It's just a regular single coil in the bridge, regular single coil in the, I haven't gone into the neck yet, but you know, the bridge sounds great with that Metal Zone. And people say, oh, you can't play metal with a Telecaster. You can't play metal with a Stratocaster. Play whatever the hell you want on whatever the hell you want. That's my message to you. So there you go, the Electro Voice EVM12L speaker. It's just badass for days and days and days. So the next thing I want to do is pair these in a 2x12 cabinet. So I don't know what I've got up my sleeve. This EVH cab is a really good candidate. This orange 2x12 cab, also a really good candidate. We'll see. I want to do two EV speakers and one of these Marshall or 5150 heads to really see what we can get when we drive this thing. This is 65 watts. That's pretty respectable. For kind of reference, this orange Rocker 30 right here is 30 watts. It's a head. It's almost half, or a little less than half the watts. We'll see what we get when we add more watts and two speakers to the equation. I think it might just be deafening, or who knows, it might just be pure awesomeness that doesn't make your ears bleed. We'll see. So that's all I wanted to do in this video. Unbox, plug in, do a little comparison to the 12S, and for my ears, it's identical. I cannot hear a difference. If you hear something different, please leave it in the comments. I always love what you have to say about this gear and, you know, my presentation of it. So go ahead and let me know what you think of this speaker, and if you want to hear it in any other context, then let me know as well, and I'll try to make that happen. As always, if you could like and subscribe, that always helps. I'm always trying to decide what content to put out there, and your voice does have weight, so let me know what you want to see, and I'll go ahead and do it if I have the capacity. So thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next one.